Hi everyone, what's up? Well, today's video, I got a video request for the Wally JP. He's actually looking for a new handheld leaf blower. He's either looking for a Stihl BG55, BG86, or the Husqvarna 125B. So he kind of wants me to make another video review of those two handhelds. So I pretty much did one about 2 years ago when I initially got my BR420. So my opinions really are going to be the same and haven't really going to change since I made that video back then. But anyways, I guess it's good to make a refresh and update on it. I'm going to be doing an in-depth review of these two lovely Stihl leaf blowers. This is the handheld homeowner unit, Stihl BG55, and the more commercial, more professional grade unit called the BG86 leaf blower. Okay, so let's go review the BG55 and tell you what I know about it. So let's give you a walk around and see what it looks like, the machine. Here's the engine compartment. Here's the fan. And you have the round nozzle. Okay, so as you probably have noticed, if you follow back my channel since 4 years ago, I first got this blower. This is the very first Stihl blower that I ever bought, next to the BG86 and then the BR420 and then the BR550. Now this is definitely, as I said in my past video, the best selling Stihl model that you can actually buy from them, and it's also the most affordable. With Still's promotions sale that they usually do in springtime and then they end in the fall, you can get a nice blower such as this one for around $180 Canadian. Now keep in mind I am in Canada and I do realize that your leaf blowers down in the States are a little bit cheaper. Yeah, so this saves me a bunch of sending emails to people. Anyway, so this is what you get offered for the price, which is pretty fair for, if you ask me. Well, you got your starter handle, you got a nice gas tank which holds 13.5 ounces of gas. Now I always run my Stihl products with 89 octane with Stihl premium oil, the ones that they give you. So if you do buy a Stihl unit, they usually give you a 2-year warranty with a 6-pack of oil, and that's the oil that I use from it. I always buy that. I don't use the cheap Walmart stuff brand on it. So you do have your primer bulb, which is located right over here next to the starter handle. You have your choke system. You got your low and high speed adjustment screws and your idle screws over here. You have your throttle. You have your spark plug here. This is cruise control. So what you do is you hold this throttle, push this down, and now it's on cruise control. And then to release it, just hold the throttle again, and then it disengages. Now this has the on and off switch like my FS38. What I like about it is that it's covered, so it it really prevents debris from going inside it. This plagued my FS38, and I had to pay like a $50 repair to actually replace the ignition switch. Fortunately, that for me, in the 4 years that I've owned this machine, that hasn't happened yet. The only problem that I ever experienced from my BG55 in the 4 years that I've owned it was a dirty spark arrestor screen, just like my BG86 a couple of times. That's because I don't really rev my engines very hard. So all you have to do is just take a 16-inch ratchet and it comes right off. Just clean the screen and then put it back in. Or ultimately you can remove the screen again, that way you don't have much problems, or anything for that matter. So these are the ratings. It's 69 decibels at 50 feet, which is pretty decent for a blower this size. Here's the specs. It is a 27.2 cc motor. This one is the old style ones that you've seen on the FS45, FS55, and FS38 gas trimmers, as well as the HS45 hedger. Now this is an old style engine, still continues to produce them because they're just so good quality. Now they did replace this model called the BG56, which has the new style 2-mix motors, which I'll get to in a bit, and it's pretty identical to the BG55. Now the BG55 has around 0.9 horsepower, and the CFM rating, it's around 418 CFM, and it blows around 154 miles per hour. So it's a very good machine. The only dislikes about it is that it is kind of loud compared to the BG86, and it doesn't have many features that you get for the BG86, namely the addition of a flat nozzle. It doesn't come standard, you have to pay extra for it, and it doesn't come with comfort grips or anti-vibration system, so if you use it for quite a long time, your arms are going to get tired from it. So let's go start it up and see how it sounds. Okay. So this has last been started since my startup video. Okay, so now I'll show you how I start it. So put it on. Choke is right over here. Three times should be fine. I'm not going to hold the throttle. And it starts right up. Alright, let's go blow some stuff if I can find anything to blow. Does the job pretty well. So I do recommend the BG55 if you're just simply a homeowner and wants to do a nice leaf cleaning, which isn't too bad. Certainly recommend this model. Very good. Okay, so now let's compare it to the big sister, the BG86, the successor to the BG85, which is basically a BG55 but more powerful and have a lot of added features. Now the BG86 is the commercial version of the BG56 and the slightly quieter BG86. So I'll show you around what it looks like. This is the nozzle, at least one of the two that's offered standard. So this is the flat nozzle, and it also comes with the round nozzle standard. Okay, so there is the motor. As you can see, there's a big differences between the BG86 and the BG55, and that's because they have completely different motors. The BG86 is the current new generation lineup of two-stroke engines, which still calls the 2-mix motors. And they're basically used on the newer two-stroke gas trimmers like the FS40, the FS50, the 56, the 70, their new lineup of clearing saws like the 360, 460, and 560, as well as their leaf blowers, the 56, 66, and 86, and their new backpacks, the BR200, the BR350, and the 430, which I'll be getting in due time. Now, yeah, so let's have a look around it and see how it looks and fares compared to the BG55. As you can see, there's the specs. It's a 27cc motor, except this one is double charged and strato charged compared to the 55, which is not. So you do get a slightly larger gas tank for the money. Instead of a 13.5 ounce, you upgrade to a 15 ounce gas tank. And actually both machines are pretty good in their gas consumption. I do, as you probably know, I do a residential lawn business where I tend to around 70 to 80 residential clients, and if I use this blower just to do the driveways and to clear out some of the leaves, it takes me around 3 to 4 hours of use to empty, which is pretty good. The 55 a little bit under because it's a smaller gas tank and it's a little bit older than the 86. So, an impressive features that you add from the 86. Well, you do get semi-automatic choke, which is featured on my FS70. So basically you just pump it, you start it up, and when it starts to fire, all you have to do is just hold the throttle and it automatically brings it to run. So that saves you the partial choke position. Also, what I like about it is that the spark plug is clean, unlike this one where it's exposed, so it gets dirty much more faster than this one. The carburetor is encased inside the casing, which is a plus on it. It's exposed into that, and you can see that my 55 is eventually going to need a carburetor clean. You do have your low and high speed adjustment screws, as well as your idle screw right near the choke. It has comfort grip and also anti-vibration system, so you won't feel it, the machine, and it's going to be easy on your hands, especially if you use it for a long time. It does have cruise control, like my 55. All you have to do is push the toilet flusher up. No, actually hold the throttle, flip it upwards, and there we go. And to release it, just push this down. And to stop it, just press down on it. It's automatically on the on position. And I love this handle, the elastostart handle. Promotes easy starting and has some built-in shock absorbers. So why is it worth the money and why is it $100 more expensive? Well, because it has better features as well as more power. This 27cc motor has a rating of 1.1 horsepower. Now, you do have some different speeds for your nozzles. The one that I have right here is called the flat nozzle. It's rated at 190 miles per hour. That's how much it blows. And it has a CFM rating of 359. Not much, but if you upgrade it to the round nozzle, as I told you, the CFM rating was 418. Well, the 86 is 459, almost 500. So you do get a very big difference between them. So which is better? Well, if you're going into a commercial business, I recommend, and if you really need a handheld, I recommend the BG86. Also, if you notice, this is why they actually put the added the BR200 into their lineup, because the BR200 is essentially the same motor, except it's on the back. But it is slightly heavier, but it's not too bad. It's around 10 pounds versus 9 pounds. So a pound is really not going to make much of a difference. Although, they say that it is 70 decibels at 50 feet, but I noticed that this engine runs much more quieter than the BG55. So, let's go start it up and see how it runs. Now, I did some fixing to it. I did clean the spark arrestor screen, so it sounds better now. So, let's go start it up. Okay. Put on choke. Three primes, just like my BG55. Not going to hold the throttle. And there we go. Fires right up. Now this is the con I have for this machine. It does vibrate a lot for some reason. But you can see It's pretty good in the hands. Alright, let's find something to blow. So you can see it's a little bit quieter, but not as loud as the BG55. So I'll start them up again to compare. And there it's running at the same time. Bad idea. Should have told both of them together. And to shut both units off. Just put on this handle here and just flush it like that, and that's it. So the BG86 is recommended if you want to spend the money and want a nice handheld blower that's rated for commercial use. It's recommended, as well as the BG55 too. I've operated this guy for 4 years. It's pretty good, but it does lack power compared to the BG86. It's slightly more power. And that's why it's almost as powerful as a small backpack blower. And that's the reason why that they added the BR200 to their list. Pretty much the same thing. So I hope this review helps, Paul. I know you also looking in for a Husqvarna 125. I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to make a review video on it. But I do know it's a 28cc. It's very similar to these blowers here. I said both of them are pretty good, as well as the Husky. And they actually do have one for sale in Canada. Believe it or not, I actually found one at Canadian Tire. I think they were asking 230 Canadian. So it's pretty much in between these guys here. So you have the low end, the Husqvarna is the mid product, and this is the top product because it's close to 300 bucks. And also you do, for the BG86 and the BG55, you do have vac features that you can buy for a $70 kit, or ultimately you can just buy the SH55 and SH86, which functions both as a blower as well as the vacuum. And I don't have a vacuum attachment for it, but anyways, here's the fan. You can see it's a little bit larger than the 55, so it's probably not going to clog up as easy if you're doing leaf vacuuming, especially the wet stuff. So anyways, I hope this review helps you, Paul, and good luck on your new blower.